Thank you very much. I would like us to recognize the presence of our guest speakers today. And with that, we have the Director General of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Fred Kebamwesige. Please give him a round of applause. We have the Executive Director of CASSOA, Engineer Richard Gatete. We have the Senior International Cooperation Officer for the European Union, Mr. Yves Konings. We have the Deputy Regional Director for ICAO ISAF, Mr. Atmon Ndikumana. And we have the Head of Transport and Mobility Division, AUC, Mr. Eric Ntagengera. You're all welcome. My name is Paul Lukanga. I'm the Director Technical at CASSOA. And with me, I have...
my name is Kenneth Otim, and I work as a Principal Public Affairs Officer with Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you, Paul, and I want to also take this opportunity to really welcome our visitors, those that are visiting Uganda, and also our participants that we are given the invitation to come here. Before we start on our agenda for today, I want us to stand up so that we can listen to the national anthems, and then we can begin our program. We shall start our anthems with the Uganda one and then the East African.
Viwandani na hata mashambani, tufanye kazi sote kwa makini, tujitoe kwa hali na mali, tuijenge jumuiya bora. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
You can have your seats. I want us also to invite Agnes, so that before we begin our deliberations, you pray for us, for God to guide us in whatever we are going to discuss. Agnes, you can come and give us a word of prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Let's bow our heads and pray. Almighty and everlasting God, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude as we gather for this important workshop on supporting and strengthening regional safety oversight organizations in Africa and Indian Ocean. We thank you for bringing us safely together from different nations, backgrounds, united by a common purpose to promote safety, collaboration, and excellence in the aviation sector across our region. Grant us wisdom, clarity, and open minds throughout our discussions. Help us to work together in a spirit of partnership and innovation, seeking solutions that will enhance safety oversight and protect the lives of all who fly. Bless the facilitators, the speakers, and each participant. May our efforts bear lasting fruit, leading to stronger institutions, safer skies, and greater unity among our nations. We ask for your guidance, your protection, and your blessing upon this workshop today and in the days to come. In the name of God I pray, amen.
Thank you very much, Agnes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a packed agenda for today, and for the next 3 days. Our workshop starts today and will end on Wednesday. For information, for those of you who need the Wi-Fi code is on the table. And for those of you who need to have a copy of the agenda has been posted on the ICAO website. And if you also use the page that is on your tables to scan the QR code, you'll be able to get a copy of the agenda for today. The presentations have also been uploaded on the ICAO website and for your information. But the presentations will also be displayed here today so that you can follow closely. So a quick brief on what we are going to cover for the next 3 days. For today, we had the registration. I believe all of you have registered and have got your IDs. Please wear them at all times. It's the only way we can recognize that you're part of this forum. We shall have speeches from our guests on the podium, and that will include EASA, AUC, AFCAC, ISAF, and the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. We shall have the setting of the scene to give us the background of this workshop. Like I told you, this is the RSOO validation workshop. A lot of work has been done to bring this to you today. The workshop is fully sponsored by EASA and EASA and ICAO, and is hosted by CASSOA and Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. After the setting of the scene, we shall have a coffee break. We shall have a group photo with our delegates. That will happen on the ground floor. If the rain has stopped, we shall have it in the garden, but if it has not, we shall have it inside the building. Right after that, we shall have presentations from CASSOA. We shall have also presentations from the lead consultant on this work. And then we shall have different presentations and panels to discuss the different items that have come out of the study. And we will have also lunch. And in the evening, we shall have a dinner with a live band, and the dress code will be a traditional wear. We shall give you more details as we go through the day, and then the second day program and the third day programs shall also be given to you. With that, I'd like to welcome our team to take us through the next session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Also to remind you, we have 2 channels for our translation. Channel 00 for English, 01 for French. Ernest and Isaac, they will do the service for us. I want to also take this opportunity to recognize the Director of Safety and Technical Services, AFCAC, Mr. Henry Okech. He has not yet come. Okay. So, with that said, I want to welcome our first speaker, and that is the ED CASSOA. So, as part of this opening, we shall listen to Engineer Richard Gatete, who is the Executive Director of CASSOA and the RSOO of the East African Community. You're most welcome, sir, to make your first speak.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony. Director General of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Fred Bamwesije, the Senior International Cooperation Officer of the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, Mr. Yves Koning, the Head of Transport and Mobility Division at the AUC, Mr. Eric Hajenjerwa, the Deputy Regional Director, ICAO ISAF, Mr. Artemo Dikumana, the Acting Deputy Director, Monitoring, Analysis, and Coordination at the ICAO Headquarters, Montreal, Mr. Saulo da Silva, the Director of Safety and Technical Services at AFCAC, who will be joining us later, Henry Okech, here represented by Mr. Danga, heads of RSOs and RIOs present, heads of delegations of organizations and partners present, distinguished guests, good morning. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to this crucial validation workshop of the Regional Safety Oversight Organization Study Follow-Up. On behalf of the East African Community Civil Aviation Safety and Security Oversight Agency, I extend a warm greeting to all of you. And I hope you arrived safely, you enjoyed your night, and you've been welcomed in a very special way. So feel at home as we begin this validation workshop. Distinguished guest of honor, firstly, I would like to convey our sincere gratitude to the government of Uganda for hosting this very important engagement and for the support extended to us by the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. And this is a demonstration of your commitment to aviation safety in Africa. I also wish to extend our deep appreciation to the European Union Aviation Safety Agency for generously funding this study. On regional aviation safety oversight, your continued support is instrumental in advancing our collective goals for a safer, more resilient sector in our region. We also want to recognize and commend the excellent coordination and exceptional efforts of the organizing team from ICAO, both regional offices, ISAF and WACAF, the AFCAC, IASA, the CASSOA and the UCA team behind the excellent organization that you're seeing here today. Distinguished guests, this gathering comes at a very critical juncture for regional aviation safety oversight in the African Indian Ocean region. The RSOO Feasibility Study Commission under the EU ASA the EU Africa Safety in Aviation project offers an invaluable and candid assessment of the current RSOO landscape in Africa. It is not only a stock taking of the progress made since the Ezulwini Declaration in 2017, but a forward-looking roadmap for operationalizing effective, integrated, and sustainable regional safety oversight systems across the continent. As the Executive Director of CASSOA, I welcome the detailed diagnosis provided in the report. It correctly identifies the persistent challenges, such as overlapping mandates between RSOs and national civil aviation authorities, the misalignment between member state expectations, and RSOO service delivery, and the fragile financial base of many of our institutions. These are not abstract issues. They are familiar to us at CASSOA and have long informed our internal reforms and our drive towards better regional coordination. The report commendably highlights the urgent need to rationalize legal functions, eliminate functional redundancies. It also recognizes the valid levels of commitment by member states in transposing harmonized regional regulations into national law, a challenge we in East Africa have grappled with for years. At CASSOA, our support to partner states includes structured guidance on the domestication of these regulations. Yet, we acknowledge that more must be done to streamline the approval processes within national legislative bodies, which remain lengthy. Distinguished guests, CASSOA is also featured in the study as a case example of a functioning RSO that has consistently supported its partner states in ICAO compliance. The report notes our role in evaluating safety oversight systems, facilitating the resolution of deficiencies, and enhancing regional standardization, particularly in areas such as aviation medicine and air navigation service oversight. We are encouraged by this recognition, but also humbled by the reminder that institutional maturity is a continuum and not a destination. The workshop today provides us with an opportunity to carefully examine the proposed consolidation, maturation, optimization phases described in the roadmap. We must ask ourselves, are our structures fit for purpose? Have we clearly defined the activities that must remain with states versus those that can be effectively delivered through delegation at regional level? Do our statutes, governance arrangements, and resources envelope enable us to fulfill these roles? These are questions we must ask ourselves. Another compelling issue raised in the report is the acute shortage of technical personnel across the AFIA resource. The fragmentation of expertise, coupled with limited retention mechanisms, undermines institutional capacity. As CASSOA, over the years, we have attempted to mitigate this through regional inspectorate support and joint training programs. However, the sustainability of such efforts requires formal recognition of shared personnel schemes, secondment frameworks, and pooled technical assistance programs. It is also worth highlighting that the study calls upon RSOs to serve not merely as training or workshop hubs, but as safety oversight bodies empowered to deliver certification, inspection, and surveillance functions as delegated by our partner states. We agree, perhaps the time has come to evolve beyond symbolic cooperation and establish service delegation instruments. A model framework agreement of service delegation has been annexed to the study and should be a blueprint for formalizing the operational role of RSOs vis-à-vis national CAAs. As we proceed through the sessions planned in this workshop, as highlighted by the Master of Ceremonies, from the legal frameworks and resource rationalization to accident investigation, cooperation roadmap development, I urge each of us to move beyond consultation towards commitment. Let us not limit our deliberations to what is desirable. Let us discuss what is feasible, measurable, and implementable in the short and medium term. To our partners, ICAO, EASA, AFCAC, and the AUC, I thank you for your continued investment in our region. Your support has helped keep regional cooperation not just alive, but meaningful. Let this workshop be a further step toward demonstrating that RSOs in Africa are not theoretical constructs, but living institutions, ready to shoulder the responsibilities of a modern aviation safety oversight system. Dear colleagues, the role of RSOs in the enhancement of the safety of African skies depends on what we validate today, agree and upon between now and the last day of this workshop. I'm confident that the shared knowledge, experience, and goodwill within this room will help us reach consensus on a clear and compelling way forward. I wish all of us fruitful and focused workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer, for your remarks. And thank you for taking time to prepare and deliver that presentation that we have all listened attentively. Your specific points and insights have been well noted. Next on our list to speak is Mr. Yves Koning, who is the Senior Cooperation Officer of the European Union Aviation Safety Agency. You're most welcome, sir, to make your speech.
Director General, Uganda CA, Mr. Bamwe CGA. I've tried to do my best. I did pretty good, no? Okay, thank you. The Executive Director, EAC CASSOA, Engineer Richard Gatete. The Head of Transport and Mobility Division at African Union Commission, Eric Tangajitewa. Sorry, Eric. It's always a problem with me, with that name. Deputy Regional Director, ICAO ISAF, Temon Dikumana. Acting Deputy Director, Monitoring, Analysis and Coordination, ICAO Headquarter, Mr. Saulo da Silva. Director of Safety and Technical Services, AFCAC, Enrio Ketch, that will come later today. Thank you, James, for being here. Heads of RSOs and RIO present, Director General present, heads of delegation and organization and partner states present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to say a few words on behalf of the European Union Aviation Safety, and I would like to say that back in 2019, as the EU-Africa Safety in Aviation project started, and since its beginning, we plan to support the outcome of the 2017 RSOO Forum and its conclusion and declaration in Eswatini. During the inception phase of the project, the ICAO Regional Office launched the RSOO feasibility study that was decided back in 2017. The EU ASA project therefore reserved the budget for this support to complement the study that was about to start back then. As you have heard already, the initial study was carried out by ICAO, and the proposed strategy plan and roadmap was presented to states and partners during a validation workshop in November 2021, whose outcome and recommendation were submitted to the 25th meeting of the AFI-Plan Steering Committee meeting in May 2022. Further information was needed for the implementation of the strategy plan and the roadmap. This is where EASA, through the EU ASA project, got involved. And a team was selected to carry out the follow-up study requested. And you will see throughout the 3 days the team leader that carried out the study. After much work of the consulting team, it is time now to present the outcome to you all during those 3 days. The EU-funded project will come to an end in 3 months, at the end of July, the EU as a project. It is therefore of utmost importance that this time spent in Uganda be considered as a milestone and an opportunity to agree upon the action of the different African stakeholders to move the file forward, as was mentioned by my predecessor, and the successful implementation of those actions. As indicated in many forums, the EU is here to support our counterpart in Africa. This is what we have done by conducting the study and facilitating this workshop. Now, it is your duty to make the outcome of this event your own and to implement it. We would like to see a complete implementation with the objective of a better aviation safety oversight all across Africa. Before closing, I would like to thank Uganda CAA for hosting us. I would like to thank CASSOA and the team for the cooperation in organizing this event. I would like to thank ICAO and everyone for all the efforts that have been put into organizing this event. I wish you now a very successful workshop. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Yves, for your remarks. Before I invite our next speaker, I want to take this opportunity to recognize the arrival and presence of the Director of Safety and Technical Services at the African Civil Aviation Commission. You're most welcome, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. Eric Ntagengerwa, who is the Head of Transport and Mobility Division at the African Union Commission. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Director General, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Fred Keba Mwesige, Executive Director of ESC CASSOA, Engineer Richard Gatete, Senior International Cooperation Officer of European Union Aviation Safety Agency, Mr. Yves Koning, Head of Transport, Deputy Regional Director, ICAO SAF, Artemon Dikumana, the Acting Deputy Director, Monitoring, Analysis and Coordination at ICAO Headquarters, Mr. Saulo De Silva, the Director of Safety and Technical Services, representing the SG of AFCAC, Mr. Henry Okech, Head of RSOOs, Rayo present, Director Generals present, Heads of Delegations of Organization and Partner States present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the African Union Commission, I'm very happy to be here. I want to thank the EASA for organizing and funding this study on RSOO. I want to thank ESC CASSOA, the Civil Aviation Authority of Uganda, AFCAC, ICAO, and all the team that organized this workshop. I just wanted briefly to remind that this RSOO study, as well highlighted by Engineer Gatete, has the essence under the Abuja safety targets, and I just wanted to highlight recommendations made by the Ministers of Transport in their meeting held last year in December 2024. First of all, as a background of the Abuja safety targets, in 2022, the revision process started with AFCAC and ICAO with a view to align the Abuja safety targets with the ICAO Global Aviation Safety Plan and the Global Air Navigation Plan. The fourth ordinary session of the STC of Ministers of Transport held on 12 September 2023 in Zanzibar directed AFCAC in collaboration with ICAO to finalize the process of amendment of Abuja safety targets, including its associated performance framework. The revised safety targets are consistent with ICAO GASP and seek to meet global safety goals, while the revised air navigation targets are consistent with ICAO Global Air Navigation Plan and seek to promote concept of seamless airspace in Africa and improvement of the quality and efficiency of air navigation services in the continent. The ministers in their meeting held last year, December, approved the revised Abuja aviation safety targets, encouraged African member states to fully commit to the effective implementation of the revised Abuja safety targets, requested AFCAC and ICAO to assist member states to improve their effective implementation of the revised Abuja safety targets as 75% by 2024, 85% by 2026, and 95% by 2030. The ministers requested AFCAC and ICAO to monitor and report on the status of implementation of Abuja safety targets in each member state to the ministers of transport in their ordinary sessions, and other continental platform highlighting the challenges faced by member states in ensuring compliance to the targets and indicating the strategies taken to address those challenges. There is no better way to implement Abuja safety targets without having regional safety organizations that are fully well coordinated, efficient, and that can, efficiently, without duplication, support the member states. I'm once again grateful to EASA for this study. We look forward, AUC, to take recommendation of this study to the ministers in their next meeting. Hopefully we'll be able to have everything concluded, especially through the AFI week, which is upcoming, and be able to not only have them adopted, but support the resource mobilization for our RSOs so that they can be able to have technical, financial resources to implement the recommendation of this study. With those few remarks, I wish you all fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks. So far, we have had some good, fantastic insights, and we are very much following. Next, I'm going to take the opportunity to invite Mr. Athmon Ndikumana, who is the Deputy Director of ICAO, Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Office, to make his presentation. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Before I speak, I would like to present to you some of our teams. You have heard some speakers referring to the acting director of the famous program in charge of audit. So I would like now Mr. Saulo to greet you, to stand and greet you, so that when they are referring to him, you know exactly the person they are talking to. Please, if you can greet. Secondly, I would like also to call the team from ICAO, 2 regional offices and the headquarters to stand and greet you because they have been supporting this program. Please, team from ICAO, stand and greet the speaker. Director General, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, my friend and brother, Fred Bamwesige, the Executive Director of CASSOA, Richard Katete, the Senior International Cooperation Officer of European Union, my brother Yves Koning, that I have known for a number of years, the Head of Transport and the Mobility Division, Mr. Eric Ndagengegwa. I know how to pronounce it, don't have a problem for those ones. The Acting Deputy Director Monitoring, the person I have just presented to you, who is in charge of the famous program in ICAO, which is USOP CMA, Mr. Saulo da Silva, the Director of Safety and Technical Services, my brother Helen Okech, and welcome. Heads of RSOs and the RRO present here, Director Generals who may be present here, Head of Delegations present here, distinguished delegates and the guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the ICAO President of the Council, the Secretary General, the two regional directors of ASAF and the WACAF, my colleagues of two regional offices and the headquarters, and on my own behalf, I would like to express my appreciation for your presence and your unwavering commitment to strengthening aviation safety in our region and beyond, and I welcome you to this workshop. Aviation safety remains one of ICAO's highest strategic priorities. It is only through strong cooperation and a meaningful engagement, as we are doing here today, that we can collaboratively advance our common goal of ensuring a safe, secure, and efficient global aviation system. Regional safety oversight organizations continue to play a key role in this endeavor. By harmonizing safety oversight efforts at the regional level, RSOs support the implementation of ICAO standards and recommended practices, commonly known as SAPs, in accordance with the Global Aviation Safety Plan and the Regional Aviation Safety Frameworks. In this regard, ICAO regional offices and the RSOs are natural and complementary partners in building state capacity and strengthening oversight systems across the continent. Allow me to recall that back in March 2017, ICAO and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, commonly known as EASA, jointly organized the first RSOs Forum in Ezruini, Eswatini. This landmark event culminated in the adoption of the ministerial declaration by 13 African ministers responsible for civil aviation. One of the key outcomes for this declaration was a call for the development of a strategic plan and a roadmap aimed at strengthening the role and effectiveness of RSOs in Africa. In response, the ICAO AFI plan conducted an initial study that laid the foundation for identifying the necessary actions to ensure the effectiveness, efficiency, and sustainability of RSOs, and propose a comprehensive strategic plan and a roadmap for its implementation. Fast forward to October 2023, during the second AFI RSOs Global Forum held in Nairobi, stakeholders raised concerns about the current funding structures and organizational configuration of the AFI RSOs. These were identified as potential risks to the successful implementation of the strategic plan. Accordingly, the forum recommended that the strategic plan and the roadmap be reviewed and updated through a robust feasibility analysis that would examine the advantages and the drawbacks of the various options presented. The forum concluded by encouraging EASA, present here, to take the lead in launching this follow-up study ahead of the anticipated endorsement by the African ministers responsible for aviation. In line with this recommendation, EASA has contracted a consultancy to carry out the feasibility study, the results of which will be presented to you during this workshop. Your feedback and the critical review are vital in validating this study and providing a clear path for its implementation. The strategy and the roadmap that emerged from this process must be actionable, and its success will depend heavily on the commitment and support of key stakeholders, including regional economic communities, commonly known as REX, the African Civil Aviation Commission, AFCAC, and the African Union Commission, AUC. These institutions are essential in mobilizing political will and ensuring regional alignment so that regional organizations can play their full role in enhancing aviation safety across Africa. I would like to take this opportunity to reaffirm ICAO's full commitment to work closely with all partners to support and coordinate efforts to strengthen RSOs, RIOs, and improve safety oversight and aircraft accident investigation systems across the continent. Finally, I wish you all a productive and a fruitful workshop, one filled with meaningful dialogue, practical recommendations, and lasting partnerships. Let us seize this opportunity to take a decisive step forward in advancing aviation safety in Africa and globally. I thank you.
Thank you, sir. So far we have listened to 4 speakers, and our next speaker, I will not have a problem to pronounce his name because one of his names starts with the letter O. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will now invite Mr. Henry Okech, the Director of Safety and Technical Services of the African Civil Aviation Commission. Most welcome, sir.
Indeed, it's a privilege to be invited when the moderator is not struggling with my name. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Uganda is my home. DG, good to see you. And all aviation meetings, interestingly, you always see the same faces. So I'm so happy to see the face of Africa in aviation converging here in the Speak Resort Monyonyo. Greetings from the Secretary General of AFCAC, Ms. Adefunke Adeyemi, who sent James and I to be part of this very, very important workshop. So allow me just to introduce James, and who will wave to you. I'm sure he's very familiar to all of you. So that is the delegation sent by the Secretary General. The Director General of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Fred Bemwesigye, the ED, ESC CASSOA, my good brother and friend, Engineer Richard Gatete, the Senior International Cooperation Officer for IASA, my longtime friend, Mr. Yves Koning, and the delegation from IASA, the Head of Transport and Mobility Division, who happens to be our principal from AUC, Mr. Eric. I will not attempt to pronounce the second name. The Deputy Regional Director from ICAO ISAF office, my brother, Athemon Dikumana, and the entire delegation from ISAF, the Acting Deputy Director Monitoring, Analysis and Coordination from ICAO headquarters in Montreal, Mr. Saulo da Silva, the heads of all the RSOs and our only beloved RIO in Africa who are present here, all the Directors General present from the various civil aviation authorities, heads of delegations of the different organizations and entities who are represented here, all the partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor and privilege for me on behalf of the African Civil Aviation Commission, Secretariat, and the Bureau to warmly welcome you to this important RSOO Study Validation Workshop, graciously hosted by the Republic of Uganda in collaboration with ESC CASSOA in this beautiful and green city of Kampala. Allow me to begin by expressing our sincere appreciation to the International Civil Aviation Organization, the European Aviation Safety Agency, ESC CASSOA, and all the stakeholders who are involved in the preparations for this workshop for their continued collaboration and unwavering support in strengthening aviation safety oversight across the continent. We are particularly grateful for their role in facilitating and supporting this important event here at the Speak Resort, Munyonyo. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude on behalf of the Secretary General, and once again to CASSOA and particularly to the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority through the DG for graciously hosting this workshop and for extensive coordination that has taken place behind the scenes to ensure that we are all comfortable and looking brilliant as we do. I also commend all member states who have been represented here, all the RSOs who continuously work tirelessly for member states, and our RIO. I'm glad to see Engineer Commissioner Charles here for the steadfast commitment to regional cooperation, and that is actually the reason we are here. From AFCAC's perspective, as the specialist agency of the African Union on Aviation Matters, we acknowledge that this is a fundamental gathering geared towards the successful implementation of the single African air transport market and the broader development of air transport across the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, the workshop marks a critical milestone in our collective efforts to strengthen RSOs and the RIO we have in the AFI region. Building on the 2017 Ezulini Declaration, as mentioned by the previous speakers, the 2021 AFI RSO study and the important outcomes of the second ICAO YASA RSO Forum held in Nairobi in 2023, this gathering allows us to review the findings of the 2025 ICAO follow-up study with the aim one of the outcomes from the Nairobi meeting. The primary objective before us, I believe, is crystal clear: to validate the strategic options. The primary objective before us is crystal clear: to validate the strategic options proposed for optimizing the number, scope, and configuration of RSOs in Africa, and to define sustainable funding mechanisms and delegation frameworks that will enhance their performance, accountability, and resilience for the benefit of all the member states. So as we deliberate over the next 3 days, let's remain focused on the core pillars of regional safety cooperation as an overarching pillar for efficiency, effectiveness, and sustainability. These principles must guide our refinement of the RSOs and RIO strategic plan and roadmap, not as an abstract policy exercise, but as a pragmatic tool that will yield positive results for member states while strengthening institutional capacity of our RSOs and RIO across Africa. We must also address with clarity the structural and financial challenges that continue to affect our RSOs and RIO. The time has come to move decisively toward consolidated, sustainable institutions that are adequately funded, well-staffed, and fully empowered to support member states in meeting the obligations under the Chicago Convention. AFCAC, as the executing agency of SATAM and the continental voice for the AU on aviation matters, we remain fully committed to supporting RSO's member states in collaboration with all stakeholders in this important journey. In close collaboration with the AUC, AFCAC will consolidate the outcomes of this workshop into the final draft of the RSOO strategy and roadmap, which will be submitted to the AU Specialized Technical Committee on Transport, Transcontinental and Interregional Infrastructure and Energy for policy-level endorsement. This will ensure that our roadmap is not only technically sound, but also politically anchored and continentally owned by our principles. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, allow me once again to thank the government of the Republic of Uganda for its hospitality as usual, ICAO, our global aviation master, and YASA, our long-time collaborator, and the rest of the stakeholders for your technical leadership, and for all of you availing yourselves to be present here and dedicating yourselves to advance aviation safety in Africa. I wish you all fruitful deliberations and a successful workshop. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, sir, for your speak. As we now conclude our speeches, it's my pleasure, and on behalf of the government of Uganda, as the host of the event, I want to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Fred Bamwesige, who is the Director General of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, to make his remarks for the conclusion of our speeches. You're most welcome, sir.
The good thing with speaking last is that many things would have been spoken. And when they have been spoken, alongside them also the protocols would have been established. So I have a very, very little responsibility here, which they cannot do, which is opening the workshop. But don't think that I'm just going to open. I have something little to say. Our regional representative, deputy from ICAO, Atmon, indeed very good friend of mine. There was the senior international operations officer. Yes, I think you are almost an East African. He was calling. I want to acknowledge that. Eric, the head of transport and mobility of AU. Eric also is from East Africa. Thank you very much for coming. Mr. Okech, I don't know how to call you, Mr. Okech. This is my young brother. This is some of the founder employees of CASSOA, although they are now very far. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Okech. Our ED, CASSOA, Mr. Engineer Richard Gatete, the whole delegations from YASA, from ICAO, from AU, and other African civil aviation establishments. The team from CASSOA, I know you are many here, and from Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my own distinct honor and privilege to officially open this regional safety Oversight Organization Study Validation Workshop, and on behalf of the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, and indeed the government of Uganda, I want to welcome you all to this country, Uganda, and also to this important event. Allow me to express our sincere appreciation to ICAO. Please take the message, both to Nairobi and Montreal. EASA, our friend Koning, and CASSOA for their continued support and partnership in advancing aviation safety across our region. This workshop is yet another demonstration of their commitment to collaborate and engage, and it comes at a time when regional and global efforts towards enhancement of safety oversight are more critical than ever. And I'm sure in this workshop you will know why they are more critical than ever before. As many of you are aware, the role of regional safety oversight organizations has become increasingly vital in supporting states to meet their obligations under the Chicago Convention, and in fact, that's why we strive to form them. In our case, really we were deliberate, very, very deliberate. And I mean the East African region, community region, extremely deliberate, and we are glad that so far they have been able to meet our expectations. If I were you, I would clap for them. And given the diversity of capacities and resources across states, regional safety organizations offer a structured and cooperative platform for shared expertise, best practices, harmonized oversight processes, and mutual assistance. Uganda, being a partner state of the EAC region, is of course a member, in fact a founder member of CASSOA. We have benefited from CASSOA through technical support, capacity building, and harmonization of the regulatory framework, among others. I am sure these benefits will be expanded within this workshop, and as I have seen on the program, they will be done on day 3. This validation mission, or rather workshop, is a key milestone in ensuring that proposed frameworks, approaches, and institutional arrangements for our RSOOs are both practical, responsive to our needs as AFI states. Your input, therefore, during this workshop will help shape a model that is not only effective, but sustainable in the long term. Uganda as a state remains committed to regional cooperation, also regional cooperation in civil aviation. We believe that through unified action, shared responsibility, and continued engagement with ICAO and AU, partner organizations and other states, we can further enhance our collective capacity to uphold the highest standards of aviation safety. I encourage each of you to actively participate in the discussions, share experiences, and provide critical feedback to enrich the outcomes of this validation process. Your contributions are invaluable in shaping a stronger and more resilient framework for our region. In conclusion, I wish to affirm our support to this initiative and express our readiness to continue working alongside all stakeholders towards the shared goal of a safe, secure, and efficient skies. Otherwise, I'm happy to see all of you ladies and gentlemen, and I will convey this to the highest authority of the state of Uganda. Happy to see many people, many aviators we usually meet, and very happy to host you here in this city of Uganda, of Kampala, Uganda. I am sure you have seen the greenery. That's why we are located in the Great Lakes region. Great Lakes region is not for the other things, it is also for good things, good greenery and other things. I am glad that I see people whom, me I know them by the way, but thank you the head of audit for coming to Uganda. Even if you don't come here every day, you are felt every time. And I'm sure you know. The people of the big delegation from Kenya, I am sure feel you. The delegation from other regional countries like Rwanda and others feel you. Now we can see you here. I gave you one small story. There is a Ugandan who married an Israeli. And the person who was speaking on that function said, you have been trying to look for the relatives of Jesus. Now you have got him here, he's here. And indeed, we have got the person who deals with audits. Please, let him not go without telling you why he sends teams here every other day. He's here. But otherwise, glad to see you. A few facts about this country, please. Now that you are here, the greenery, we are not irrigating anywhere. This is the rain which God gave us. This whole country has no desert at all. Wherever you go, you will not find a desert. You will not find extreme coldness unless you go on top of Rwenzori. That one you will have invited it. And a big variety of game in the national parks, good physical features in every part of this country. And of course, and this is contested, I can see people here who want to contest it. The longest river in the world. I know there are people who want to contest it, but when you go, you see the source. When you go in the east of this country. So please don't miss, now that you are here, go and see where the Nile starts from. The whole of this continent was colonized because people were looking for the source of the Nile. Others took eastern direction, others took where, all looking for the source of the Nile. And their presence was felt everywhere, but the Nile was here. So a few who came here, they said, we have discovered it. They disregarded the people who actually took them to see it. You know, discovery means you are the first human being to see something. But even they could not say that someone took them to see it there. And they say, we have discovered it, and they are there. So, you now go and discover yourself. Don't go by the books. And a few others. So, and the human beings, Uganda is reputed to have the happiest people on the globe. If you want to contest it, just walk outside here and see how people are happy and very willing to help you, even at no cost. Especially if you discover that you are a stranger. But because of town influence, be a little bit careful. Be very careful. Allow that help, but don't be so close too much. You can even ride you on a bike and tell you, I am glad to have taken you. Thank you very much. So please, enjoy everything in some time. Because of the town influence, we never had towns here. The people in the West are the ones who brought town settlements here. For us, we are living in our comfort, in the villages, and nobody was cheating the other. Everybody was at peace with one another. So when you brought town life, some of you from the West, then we started cheating one another times. So, but otherwise, you see a variety of life here and there, and I would like you to enjoy it as much as it exists. and ask many questions. With those words, ladies and gentlemen, if I have not solved this country properly, please add on those of you who will be interacting with the audience and do a lot. Please tell them that there is Rwenzori, there is the National Park, there are guerrillas in the south. You can go through Uganda, you can also go through Rwanda and see them. So there are many. With those remarks, I now have the pleasure of declaring this Regional Safety Oversight Organization Study Validation Workshop officially opened, and thank you so much. I wish you a productive and successful workshop.
Thank you, DG, for accepting to our invitation and to open this workshop. DG, before you leave your seats, I'll request you to stand, and the photographer should come and take a picture of them standing. I think for UCAA, that picture has to be on our calendar for next year. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can have your seat. So I'm going to invite Paul to take us to the next part of our program. Paul, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much, our team. A big round of applause for our guests. Thank you very much. I think now we have the bigger context of this program for the next 3 days. I would like to kindly request you to take the seats in the audience so that we can get the setting of the scene to give you more perspective of where we have come from and why we are exactly here today to continue. Please. All right.